Imagine if you could rewire your brain to unlock unlimited potential. This audiobook reveals the science behind transforming your mind, breaking free from old patterns, and creating a life beyond your wildest dreams. The power to change is within you. Let's begin. Introduction. Let me take you back to a moment in my life, one of those moments where everything changed. It was a regular Tuesday morning, and I was sitting in my small, cluttered office, feeling more lost than ever before. The world outside seemed to be moving at lightning speed, while I felt like I was stuck in quicksand, drowning in self-doubt and missed opportunities. I had big dreams, but the fear of failure, the constant nagging voice in my head, and the overwhelming weight of my past kept me locked in place. I had tried everything: self-help books, motivational seminars, meditation, journaling, but nothing seemed to work. It was as though I was trapped in a cycle, a loop I couldn't break. Then one evening, I stumbled upon a concept that flipped everything I knew about myself on its head. It was the idea that the brain, my brain, could be rewired, that the thoughts and patterns that had kept me stuck for so long were not permanent, and that I had the power to change them. Suddenly, I realized that the real key to transformation wasn't about changing external circumstances. It was about changing the way I thought. It was in that moment that I began to understand the power of rewiring my brain and how this simple act could unlock the doors to the limitless potential that was always within me. It wasn't easy, but little by little, I started to see the changes, not just in my life, but in who I was becoming. And that is what I want to share with you today. Purpose of the book: Tapping into Infinite Potential. This book is not just another self-improvement guide. It's a blueprint for unlocking the infinite potential that already resides within you. But here's the catch. You can't access this potential until you rewire your mind. You see, most of us are operating under deeply ingrained mental patterns that limit us. Patterns we've developed over years, often without even realizing it. These mental patterns shape everything from the way we view ourselves to the way we interact with the world. They influence our decisions, our relationships, our careers, and ultimately, the kind of life we lead. Now, here's the kicker. These patterns can be changed. Yes, you can reprogram your brain. You can break free from the chains of self-doubt, fear, and old beliefs that are holding you back. The truth is that the mind is incredibly malleable, and when you learn how to tap into its full power, you can achieve things you never thought possible. This book will guide you through this journey of transformation. We'll dive into the science behind rewiring the brain, the powerful techniques that will help you break through mental barriers, and the mindset shifts you need to create lasting change. But more than that, we'll explore how you can tap into your infinite potential, the version of you that has always existed, but has been hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, and conditioning. By the end of this journey, you'll understand how to access this limitless version of yourself and how to use that power to transform every area of your life. What to expect. Overview of the main concepts and techniques. So, what exactly can you expect as you embark on this journey? First, let's talk about the fundamental concept you'll learn throughout this audiobook: that the mind is not fixed, but fluid. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections, means that your mind is not confined to old habits and patterns. This means that you are not a slave to your past thoughts or behaviors. Instead, you have the power to consciously rewire your brain to achieve the results you want. Over the next chapters, we'll delve into specific techniques for rewiring your mind. These techniques are not about wishful thinking or superficial affirmations. They're rooted in science and backed by research. You'll learn how to break free from limiting beliefs, how to shift your mindset, and how to develop the emotional resilience needed to push through challenges. Through a combination of visualization, mindfulness practices, cognitive restructuring, and positive reinforcement, you'll begin to see the changes in your thoughts and actions. But here's the most exciting part. You won't just be reading about these techniques, you'll be applying them. This book is designed to be interactive. As you listen, you'll be prompted to reflect on your current thought patterns, identify areas where you're stuck, and actively implement the strategies we discuss. Think of this as your personal guide to rewiring your brain and achieving the life you've always dreamed of, step by step. Invitation to begin. Your transformation starts now. I'm going to be blunt with you. If you're reading this right now, it's because you're ready for change. You're ready to stop feeling stuck. You're ready to break through the walls that have been holding you back for far too long. And here's the exciting part. The power to change is already within you. This isn't about waiting for the perfect moment to start. It's about taking action right now. The longer you wait, the more opportunities slip through your fingers. Your infinite potential is just waiting to be unlocked, but it requires action. It requires you to step up and commit to this journey. Are you ready to transform your mind? Are you ready to tap into your true potential? The tools, the techniques, and the knowledge are all here, waiting for you. But the transformation starts with your decision to begin. This is your invitation to take the first step, to commit to rewiring your mind, breaking free from old patterns, and unlocking a version of yourself you never thought was possible. It won't be easy, but I promise you this, it will be worth it. So, let's get started. Your journey of transformation begins now. Chapter 1. The Power of the Mind, the Mind's Influence on Reality. Your mind is more than just a vessel for processing information. It is a powerful force that actively shapes every experience, emotion, and decision in your life. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly creating your reality through your thoughts, beliefs, and perceptions. This is not just a philosophical idea, but a fundamental truth supported by science. The way you think about yourself and the world around you plays a crucial role in determining what you attract into your life, how you approach challenges, and how you perceive success or failure. Your mindset, in essence, is the lens through which you experience your entire reality. If you can learn to change that lens, you will begin to see a world of infinite possibilities instead of limitations. It's important to grasp that the mind does not simply reflect your external circumstances. It influences how you interpret and respond to those circumstances. For instance, if you encounter a setback, someone with a growth-oriented mindset might view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. They might approach it with curiosity, asking, "What can I learn from this? How can I turn this into a stepping stone for my success?" On the other hand, someone with a fixed mindset might see the same situation as evidence of their inability or failure. This difference in perception is what determines whether you move forward in your life or stay stuck in patterns of self-doubt and negativity. The power of your mind lies in its ability to shape not just how you view the world, but how the world responds to you. When you choose to see opportunities rather than obstacles, you align yourself with the energy that attracts success, growth, and fulfillment. A crucial aspect of this power is rooted in the concept of neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. Neuroplasticity is the scientific basis for the idea that you can rewire your brain, replacing old, unhelpful patterns of thinking with new, empowering ones. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every action you take leaves an imprint on your brain. The more you repeat certain thoughts or behaviors, the more ingrained they become. The good news is that just as negative thought patterns can become ingrained through repetition, positive, empowering thoughts can be reinforced in the same way. The mind is not fixed. It is adaptable. This means that at any point in your life, you have the ability to rewire your brain to support your goals, your dreams, and your unlimited potential. The first step toward unlocking your infinite potential is realizing that the mind is not a passive observer of reality, but an active participant in creating it. The conscious and subconscious mind. The mind can be broken down into two primary components, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Understanding the relationship between these two aspects of the mind is essential for rewiring your brain and transforming your life. The conscious mind is the part of the mind that is aware of the present moment. It is responsible for logical thinking, decision-making, and analysis. This is the part of the mind that you engage with most frequently during your waking hours. When you are actively thinking about something, solving a problem, or making a decision, you are using your conscious mind. However, the conscious mind is only responsible for a small fraction of the total mental activity that takes place each day. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, is much more powerful and operates beneath the surface of conscious awareness. It controls automatic behaviors, habits, emotions, and beliefs. It is the part of the mind that influences your actions without you even realizing it. For example, when you drive a car, you don't consciously think about every movement. Your subconscious mind takes over and controls your muscle memory. The subconscious mind also stores your core beliefs and memories, many of which were formed early in life. These beliefs, whether empowering or limiting, dictate how you perceive yourself and the world. The subconscious mind is where old habits, limiting beliefs, and emotional patterns reside. If you want to transform your life, you must first become aware of the programming in your subconscious mind and consciously choose to change it. The challenge is that many of us operate on autopilot, letting our subconscious beliefs and patterns drive our thoughts and actions without even realizing it. These automatic thoughts often go unexamined, which is why people continue to find themselves stuck in the same limiting patterns. For example, if you were raised with the belief that success is difficult or that you're not worthy of achieving your dreams, those beliefs are stored in your subconscious mind and affect your behavior in ways you may not consciously recognize. They might lead you to procrastinate, self-sabotage, or avoid taking risks, even when you consciously desire success. The good news is that the subconscious mind is malleable. Through consistent effort, you can change the programming stored in your subconscious and replace it with beliefs that support your growth and potential. How the mind creates reality. The concept that the mind creates reality may sound abstract, but when you understand the mechanisms behind it, it becomes clear that your thoughts truly do shape your experiences. Every thought you have sends signals to your brain, influencing your emotions and the way you react to the world around you. For example, when you think about something you're excited about, perhaps a goal or a vision of your future, you feel a surge of positive emotions. These emotions, in turn, drive you to take action towards your goal. The opposite is also true. When you think negatively or fearfully about something, your emotions shift to match those thoughts, and this can lead to hesitation, avoidance, or inaction. Your brain does not differentiate between a thought that is real or imagined. It responds to whatever you believe to be true. This is why visualization, affirmations, and positive thinking are so powerful. When you vividly imagine a positive outcome, your brain processes it as though it is happening in real time, activating the neural pathways that will help make that vision a reality. Moreover, your beliefs, both conscious and subconscious, directly influence the way you interpret the events in your life. For example, if you believe that people are generally kind and trustworthy, you will likely interpret interactions with others in a positive light. This, in turn, will encourage more positive interactions and relationships. On the other hand, if you have a belief that people are untrustworthy or that you are not deserving of love and respect, you may interpret even neutral or positive interactions as negative, leading you to push others away or avoid connections altogether. The mind, in this sense, does not just reflect reality, it actively creates it by influencing how you perceive and respond to the world around you. Your internal dialogue, your beliefs, and the way you think about yourself and your circumstances shape your external experiences in profound ways. This means that if you want to change your external reality, you must begin by changing your internal reality. By shifting your mindset, your beliefs, and the way you think, you can change the course of your life. Neuroplasticity and rewiring your brain. One of the most empowering discoveries of modern neuroscience is the concept of neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life. This means that, regardless of your age or current circumstances, your brain has the capacity to change and adapt. The idea that the brain is fixed or hardwired was once a commonly held belief. But research has shown that the brain is, in fact, highly dynamic. Every time you learn something new, practice a skill, or repeat a thought or behavior, your brain forms new neural connections. These connections can strengthen over time, making new behaviors and ways of thinking easier and more natural. The power of neuroplasticity lies in its ability to reshape the brain's structure and function in response to new experiences. When you consciously choose to change your thoughts, emotions, or behaviors, you are literally changing the structure of your brain. For example, if you consistently practice gratitude or visualization, you strengthen the neural pathways associated with those positive behaviors, making it easier for you to adopt a positive mindset. Similarly, if you practice new habits or challenge old limiting beliefs, your brain rewires itself to support those changes. This is the scientific basis for the idea that you can rewire your brain. By consistently choosing new ways of thinking and behaving, you can change the neural pathways that have been ingrained over the years and create new pathways that support your goals and potential. The best part of neuroplasticity is that it gives you control over your brain's development. Unlike other aspects of your body, your brain is not a static entity. It is a dynamic, living system that responds to your thoughts, experiences, and behaviors. If you are committed to personal growth and transformation, neuroplasticity provides you with the tools to make lasting changes in your life. Whether you want to develop new habits, overcome limiting beliefs, or cultivate a positive mindset, neuroplasticity gives you the power to do so by rewiring your brain to align with your goals. The process may take time, but with consistency and dedication, you can rewire your brain and unlock your full potential. Chapter 2. Identifying limiting beliefs. What are limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are like invisible walls that confine your potential, preventing you from experiencing the fullness of life. They are the deeply ingrained convictions, often formed through past experiences, societal conditioning, or childhood upbringing, that tell you what is possible or not possible. These beliefs are not only mental barriers, but emotional anchors that hold you in place, making you feel stuck, fearful, or incapable of achieving your goals. They manifest in thoughts such as, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never succeed," or "I don't deserve happiness." These beliefs create a lens through which you view your world and yourself, and they heavily influence the decisions you make, the actions you take, and the goals you pursue. The trouble with limiting beliefs is that they are often so deeply embedded in your subconscious mind that you might not even be aware of them. They act as automatic filters through which all your experiences pass, shaping your perception of reality without you realizing it. Limiting beliefs hold you back by dictating the narrative of your life. They create a ceiling on your aspirations, making you believe that there is only so much you can achieve, only so far you can go, and that any success beyond that is unattainable. These beliefs don't necessarily have to be about grand ideas like, "I'll never be a millionaire," or "I'm not worthy of love." They can be as subtle as, "I'm not good at math," "I don't have enough time," or "I'm just not the kind of person who can do this." Even the most seemingly innocent beliefs can limit your potential. Over time, these beliefs become so embedded in your subconscious that they start to dictate your behavior. They influence the choices you make, the risks you take, and the opportunities you're willing to seize. In essence, your limiting beliefs determine what you believe is possible, and therefore, they determine how far you can go in life. The first step toward unlocking your infinite potential is recognizing and identifying these beliefs so that you can challenge and eventually overcome them. Understanding the power of limiting beliefs is crucial, but it's equally important to recognize that they can be changed. The mind is malleable, and just as limiting beliefs were formed over time, they can be dismantled and replaced with empowering beliefs. The key to transforming your life lies in the willingness to confront these beliefs head-on, understand where they come from, and then challenge them. Through this process, you will begin to recognize the areas of your life where these beliefs have held you back and take the necessary steps to break free from them. It's not about simply affirming positive thoughts or hoping for the best. It's about acknowledging the real, deep-rooted beliefs that are keeping you stuck and actively working to change them. The origins of limiting beliefs. The origins of limiting beliefs are often rooted in early experiences and societal conditioning. Many of the beliefs that hold you back were formed during your childhood, often when you were too young to critically evaluate the situations and messages around you. Perhaps you grew up in an environment where your parents or caregivers had their own limiting beliefs about success, money, or relationships, and these beliefs were inadvertently passed on to you. For example, if your parents constantly struggled with money and expressed negative beliefs about wealth, you might have internalized the idea that money is scarce, that it's difficult to earn, or that wealthy people are somehow bad or greedy. These beliefs, though formed early, can stay with you throughout your life, affecting how you approach your own finances and success. Similarly, societal conditioning plays a significant role in shaping your beliefs. Society often presents a narrow definition of success, beauty, and happiness. And if you don't fit within that mold, you might internalize the belief that you're not good enough. These societal beliefs are reinforced through media, culture, and peer pressure, creating standards that you feel compelled to meet. This is especially true when you compare yourself to others and measure your own worth by societal standards rather than your internal values. In school, you may have been told that you were not good enough based on grades or performance in a specific subject, and over time, this external judgment may have morphed into a deep-seated belief about your abilities. These experiences shape your mindset and can become the source of limiting beliefs that keep you from taking action or pushing beyond your comfort zone. Additionally, past traumas or negative experiences can also shape limiting beliefs. If you've experienced failure, rejection, or criticism in the past, you may have developed a belief that failure is something to avoid at all costs, or that you are not capable of achieving success. For instance, someone who was repeatedly told they were not smart enough as a child might internalize this message and grow up with the belief that they can't succeed in academic or professional environments, no matter how hard they try. These past experiences create a blueprint for how you view yourself and your potential. And the longer these beliefs go unchallenged, the more ingrained they become in your subconscious mind. Recognizing the origins of your limiting beliefs is the first step toward disassembling them. Once you can identify where these beliefs came from, you can begin to release their grip on you and replace them with healthier, more empowering narratives. Uncovering your limiting beliefs. Uncovering your limiting beliefs is not always easy, as they often operate beneath the surface of your conscious awareness. These beliefs are like hidden scripts that run in the background of your mind, guiding your actions without you even realizing it. To identify your limiting beliefs, you must first cultivate a deep level of self-awareness. This means taking the time to reflect on your thoughts, actions, and emotions, and being honest with yourself about what is holding you back. It's helpful to start by paying attention to areas of your life where you feel stuck or experience resistance. These are often the places where your limiting beliefs are most active. For example, if you find yourself avoiding career advancement opportunities or Procrastinating on important projects. It may be that a belief about your own abilities or worth is holding you back. Similarly, if you feel constantly overwhelmed by fear or anxiety about relationships, this might signal that past experiences or beliefs about love and connection are limiting your potential for joy and intimacy. Journaling is a powerful tool for uncovering limiting beliefs. Taking time each day to write down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences allows you to externalize the beliefs that are operating in your subconscious. As you write, pay attention to recurring themes or patterns in your thoughts. Do you find yourself repeatedly thinking things like, "I'm not capable," "This is too hard," or "I don't have enough time"? These thoughts are often the manifestation of underlying limiting beliefs. Once you start to recognize these patterns, you can begin to trace them back to their root cause. You might ask yourself, where did I learn this belief? Was it something I was taught growing up? Or is it something I developed from my own experiences? Through this process of self-reflection, you begin to expose the beliefs that have been silently guiding your behavior and shaping your reality. Another technique for uncovering limiting beliefs is through meditation and mindfulness. By quieting your mind and paying attention to the thoughts that arise, you can gain insight into the subconscious beliefs that influence your actions. Mindfulness allows you to step outside of the automatic thought patterns that drive your daily behavior and observe them with a sense of curiosity. When you engage in this practice regularly, you can begin to notice the subtle beliefs that govern your life. You might find, for example, that you're constantly telling yourself that you don't deserve success or that you're not worthy of love and happiness. Recognizing these thoughts is the first step in the process of rewriting them. Meditation also helps you to develop a non-judgmental attitude toward your beliefs, which is crucial for change. Instead of criticizing yourself for having limiting beliefs, you can approach them with compassion and curiosity, understanding that these beliefs were formed to protect you or keep you safe, but are no longer serving your best interests. Breaking free from limiting beliefs. Once you have uncovered your limiting beliefs, the next step is to break free from them. This process requires both patience and intentional effort. The first thing to understand is that limiting beliefs don't change overnight. These beliefs have often been formed over years, even decades, and deeply ingrained patterns can take time to shift. However, change is possible, and it begins with consciously challenging the validity of your limiting beliefs. When you recognize that a belief is limiting you, ask yourself, is this belief really true? Or, where's the evidence to support this belief? More often than not, you will realize that your limiting belief is based on outdated information, misconceptions, or fear, rather than facts. For instance, you might have the belief that you're not good enough to pursue a particular career path. Upon closer inspection, you might realize that this belief stems from a past failure or comment someone made, rather than any true reflection of your abilities. One powerful tool for breaking free from limiting beliefs is the use of affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself in order to rewire your subconscious mind. By consistently repeating empowering affirmations, you begin to replace old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. For example, instead of repeating the belief, "I'm not good enough," you might replace it with the affirmation, "I am capable, worthy, and deserving of success." The more you repeat these affirmations, the more your brain will begin to accept them as truth. Over time, your old limiting beliefs will be replaced by new beliefs that support your goals and aspirations. Visualization is another powerful tool for breaking free from limiting beliefs. When you visualize yourself achieving your goals and living the life you desire, you create a mental image of success and possibility. This helps to train your mind to see success as something that is within reach. By vividly imagining yourself overcoming obstacles and achieving your dreams, you begin to rewire your brain to believe that it is possible. The more you visualize success, the more your brain will begin to focus on opportunities and solutions. rather than obstacles and limitations. Breaking free from limiting beliefs is an ongoing process, and it requires commitment and persistence. However, as you continue to challenge and replace your limiting beliefs with empowering ones, you will begin to see a profound shift in your life. You will find yourself stepping into new opportunities, taking risks, and pursuing your goals with confidence. The key to unlocking your infinite potential lies in your ability to recognize the beliefs that have been holding you back and consciously choose to rewrite them. By doing so, you open the door to a life of endless possibility, growth, and success. Chapter 3. Shifting your mindset. The importance of a growth mindset. To unlock your infinite potential, one of the most essential transformations you need to make is shifting your mindset from one of limitation to one of boundless growth. The power of the mind is not just in what it can accomplish, but in how it perceives the world around it. The way you think about challenges, success, and your own potential plays a pivotal role in determining what you can achieve. At the core of this transformation is adopting a growth mindset, a belief that intelligence, talent, and abilities are not fixed traits, but can be developed through hard work, learning, and persistence. This mindset was first coined by psychologist Carol Dweck, who distinguished between two types of mindsets: the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. Individuals with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence are innate and unchangeable, leading them to shy away from challenges, give up easily, and avoid situations where they might fail. They see failure as a reflection of their inherent limitations, not as an opportunity to learn and improve. On the other hand, individuals with a growth mindset see failure as a stepping stone to success. They view challenges as opportunities to grow and learn, and they believe that effort, practice, and perseverance are the keys to improvement. With a growth mindset, your focus shifts from proving yourself to constantly improving yourself. When you believe that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work, you naturally become more resilient in the face of adversity, more motivated to tackle difficult tasks, and more willing to step out of your comfort zone. The belief that you can improve fosters an environment of continuous learning and growth, and this is precisely what opens the door to infinite potential. When you embrace this mindset, you no longer see limitations as permanent barriers. Instead, you begin to see them as challenges to be overcome with effort, strategy, and persistence. This mindset shift is crucial in breaking free from the constraints of your limiting beliefs. If you have spent years believing that you are limited by your natural abilities, it can be incredibly freeing to realize that your potential is not fixed, but rather, it is something that can be nurtured and expanded. Embracing a growth mindset will enable you to take ownership of your own development and success. You'll start to view obstacles not as insurmountable hurdles, but as necessary steps on the path to mastery. As you start to adopt this mindset, you'll notice that you approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and excitement, rather than fear and avoidance. The power of a growth mindset is that it empowers you to take control of your own life and to believe that you have the ability to shape your future, regardless of where you currently stand. The role of gratitude in shifting perspective. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools you can use to shift your mindset from one of scarcity and limitation to one of abundance and growth. While a growth mindset focuses on your potential for improvement and development, gratitude shifts your attention to the present moment and the many blessings that already exist in your life. By consciously practicing gratitude, you begin to change your focus from what you don't have to what you do have, from what's going wrong to what's going right. This shift in focus is crucial because it fosters a positive, abundant mindset that aligns with growth and progress. When you are grateful for what you already have, you cultivate a sense of contentment and joy that makes you more resilient to challenges and setbacks. You start to see obstacles not as signs of failure, but as opportunities for learning and growth. Research has shown that practicing gratitude has a direct impact on your mental and physical well-being. Studies have found that people who regularly practice gratitude report higher levels of happiness, lower levels of stress, and improved overall health. Gratitude also has the power to rewire your brain to focus on positive experiences, creating new neural pathways that reinforce feelings of abundance and well-being. This rewiring is crucial for shifting your mindset because it helps to replace negative thought patterns with more constructive, empowering ones. The more you focus on the good in your life, the more your brain will become attuned to seeing opportunities, solutions, and growth, rather than obstacles and limitations. By incorporating gratitude into your daily routine, you begin to reframe your reality, cultivating a mindset that is open, optimistic, and eager to learn from every experience. In practice, gratitude is simple yet profoundly effective. You can begin by keeping a gratitude journal where you write down 3 to 5 things you are grateful for each day. These can be big or small, anything from a warm cup of coffee to a major career breakthrough. The key is to make gratitude a daily habit, so it becomes second nature to focus on the positives in your life. As you reflect on the things you are thankful for, allow yourself to feel the emotions of gratitude deeply. This emotional engagement with gratitude helps to solidify the positive changes in your mindset. Over time, as you practice gratitude consistently, you will notice a shift in your perspective. You will naturally begin to see the world through a lens of abundance and possibility, rather than lack and limitation. This shift is essential for unlocking your infinite potential because it removes the mental barriers that hold you back from pursuing your dreams and goals. Visualizing success. Visualization is another powerful tool that can help you shift your mindset and rewire your brain for success. Visualization involves creating vivid mental images of your desired outcomes and imagining yourself achieving your goals. This technique is based on the idea that the mind cannot differentiate between an experience that is vividly imagined and one that is actually lived. When you visualize yourself succeeding, your brain activates the same neural networks as if you were actually performing the action in real life. This process strengthens the neural pathways associated with success, making it easier for you to take the necessary steps to turn your vision into reality. The power of visualization lies in its ability to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your goals. When you vividly imagine your success, you create a mental roadmap for how to achieve it. This mental rehearsal boosts your confidence, reduces anxiety, and helps you stay focused on your goals even in the face of setbacks. Visualization also helps to build the belief that your goals are attainable, reinforcing the idea that success is within your reach. For instance, if you're visualizing yourself succeeding in a job interview, your mind will picture you walking confidently into the room, answering questions with ease, and receiving a positive response. This mental image will not only boost your confidence, but will also prepare your mind and body to perform in a way that aligns with your visualized success. To make visualization more effective, it's important to engage all of your senses in the process. Don't just see the success in your mind's eye, feel it, hear it, and experience it with every part of your being. For example, if you're visualizing yourself achieving a major career milestone, imagine the satisfaction of receiving praise, the joy of accomplishing something meaningful, and the excitement of new opportunities unfolding before you. The more sensory detail you add to your visualization, the more powerful the experience becomes. Additionally, practice visualization regularly, ideally every day, so that the mental images become ingrained in your subconscious mind. The more you visualize your success, the more your brain will begin to believe in its possibility. This, in turn, will influence your actions and decisions, making it easier for you to move toward your goals with confidence and clarity. Overcoming negative self-talk. One of the most significant barriers to shifting your mindset is negative self-talk. These are the internal narratives that undermine your confidence, self-worth, and belief in your abilities. Negative self-talk is often subtle but can be incredibly damaging over time. It might sound like, "I'm not good enough," "I'll never be able to do this," or "I'm too old to change." These thoughts create a feedback loop that reinforces feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, preventing you from taking the necessary actions to achieve your goals. The key to overcoming negative self-talk is awareness. You must first become conscious of the harmful thoughts that run through your mind on a daily basis. Once you're aware of them, you can start to challenge and reframe them. One effective strategy for overcoming negative self-talk is cognitive reframing. This technique involves identifying negative thoughts and replacing them with more realistic, positive alternatives. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'll never be successful," reframe that thought by telling yourself, "Success is a journey, and I'm taking steps every day to get closer to my goal." This reframing process helps to shift your focus from limiting beliefs to empowering ones. It also helps to reduce the power that negative self-talk has over your mindset. In time, you'll start to recognize these negative patterns and replace them automatically with more positive and constructive thoughts. Another powerful technique is using affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself to counteract negative beliefs. By consistently reinforcing empowering beliefs, you can retrain your mind to focus on what is possible rather than on your limitations. Over time, these affirmations will replace the negative narratives with more empowering ones. Another effective way to overcome negative self-talk is through mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness helps you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions without getting caught up in them. By observing your thoughts without judgment, you can begin to detach from the negative narratives that arise and replace them with more neutral or positive ones. Meditation provides a space for you to center yourself and release the mental clutter that fuels negative self-talk. As you practice mindfulness and meditation regularly, you'll develop greater mental clarity and emotional resilience, allowing you to overcome the grip of negative self-talk and foster a more positive, growth-oriented mindset. Chapter 4. Reprogramming Your Subconscious Mind. The Subconscious Mind and Habit Formation. Our subconscious mind is one of the most powerful and influential aspects of our mental and emotional landscape. It is the part of our mind that operates below the level of conscious awareness, controlling much of our behavior, emotions, and thought patterns. In fact, it is responsible for over 95% of our daily actions, which means that the subconscious mind is far more powerful than the conscious mind when it comes to shaping our lives. It is through the subconscious mind that we form habits, develop automatic reactions to situations, and carry out tasks without giving them a second thought. This is why it is so crucial to understand how the subconscious operates, especially when it comes to habit formation. Habits are essentially ingrained patterns of thought and behavior that become automatic over time. Whether we realize it or not, our daily routines, attitudes, and even our responses to stress and anxiety are shaped by habits that we have built over the years. These habits are stored in the subconscious mind, where they become so deeply ingrained that they often function without any active thought or effort. For example, when you brush your teeth every morning or drive to work without consciously thinking about the route, you are performing actions that have been solidified in your subconscious through repetition. The subconscious mind is designed to make these habitual actions automatic so that the conscious mind doesn't have to waste energy thinking about them. While this is beneficial in many cases, it can also be problematic when the habits we formed are negative or self-limiting. Habits such as procrastination, negative thinking, self-sabotage, or unhealthy coping mechanisms are all examples of subconscious patterns that can hinder our growth and success. These habits become ingrained over time, and the subconscious mind will continue to reinforce them unless we actively intervene to reprogram them. The good news is that the subconscious mind is incredibly malleable, and it is entirely possible to reprogram it. The brain is capable of forming new neural pathways and creating new habits, provided we approach the process with intention, consistency, and persistence. This is where the concept of reprogramming your subconscious comes into play. By consciously identifying the habits, beliefs, and thought patterns that no longer serve you, you can begin to replace them with new empowering habits that align with your goals and aspirations. However, this process requires patience and commitment. The subconscious mind doesn't change overnight, and the habits you wish to form will take time and repetition to establish. Yet, once these new habits are formed, they can become just as automatic as the negative ones that once held you back. In this chapter, we will explore the techniques and strategies you can use to reprogram your subconscious mind, allowing you to break free from limiting patterns and create a life of true abundance and success. The power of repetition. One of the most effective ways to reprogram the subconscious mind is through the power of repetition. Repetition is the key to ingraining new habits and beliefs into the subconscious. When you repeatedly engage in a behavior or thought process, your brain forms new neural connections that strengthen over time. This process is known as neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural pathways in response to new experiences. The more often you practice a particular behavior or reinforce a specific belief, the stronger these neural pathways become. Eventually, the new habit or belief becomes automatic, and you no longer need to actively think about it. This concept is crucial when it comes to reprogramming the subconscious mind. To replace old, limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones, you must engage in consistent, deliberate repetition. For instance, if you've struggled with low self-esteem or self-doubt, you can reprogram your subconscious by consistently practicing positive affirmations. By repeating affirmations such as, "I am worthy of success," or "I believe in my abilities," you begin to wire your brain for positive thinking. Over time, these affirmations will become ingrained in your subconscious, and you'll find that your thoughts and behaviors begin to align with these empowering beliefs. Repetition can also be applied to behaviors. If you want to develop a new habit, such as exercising regularly or eating healthier, it's essential to engage in these activities consistently. The more you repeat the behavior, the more automatic it becomes, and the stronger the neural connections associated with that habit become. One of the reasons repetition is so effective is that it helps to override the subconscious mind's tendency to default to old, automatic patterns. The subconscious mind operates in a way that seeks comfort and familiarity. When you introduce new behaviors or thoughts, the subconscious may resist at first because they are unfamiliar. However, through consistent repetition, the subconscious gradually adapts to the new patterns, and what was once unfamiliar becomes the new normal. This is why it's so important to stick with the process even when it feels difficult or unnatural at first. By remaining consistent, you eventually reprogram your subconscious to support your goals and desired behaviors. Using affirmations and mantras. Another powerful tool for reprogramming the subconscious mind is the use of affirmations and mantras. Affirmations are positive, empowering statements that you repeat to yourself to reinforce specific beliefs, attitudes, or behaviors. They serve as a direct way to challenge and replace the negative self-talk that often holds us back. For example, if you've spent years believing that you're not good enough, you can use affirmations to counteract that belief by repeating statements such as, "I am capable," "I deserve success," or "I have the power to achieve my dreams." When you say these affirmations with conviction and emotion, you begin to override the limiting beliefs that reside in your subconscious. Affirmations are most effective when they are personalized and aligned with your specific goals. For instance, if you are aiming to improve your self-confidence, you might create affirmations such as, "I radiate confidence and self-assurance," or I trust in my abilities to handle any challenge. By repeating these affirmations daily, you start to reprogram your subconscious to believe in your inherent worth and potential. The key is consistency. You must commit to repeating your affirmations regularly, preferably several times a day, to ensure that they sink deeply into your subconscious mind. In addition to affirmations, mantras can also be a powerful tool for reprogramming the subconscious. A mantra is a word or phrase that you repeat during meditation or mindfulness practice. Mantras can be used to cultivate specific states of mind, such as peace, focus, or gratitude. For example, repeating the mantra Om Namah Shivaya, which is a traditional Sanskrit mantra, can help you connect with a sense of inner peace and harmony. The repetition of a mantra during meditation serves as a focal point that calms the mind and encourages deeper levels of awareness and mindfulness. The use of mantras can help quiet the mental chatter that often leads to negative thoughts and reinforce positive, growth-oriented beliefs. Both affirmations and mantras work by redirecting the focus of your thoughts away from negativity and self-doubt and toward positive, empowering beliefs. The more you engage in these practices, the more your subconscious mind begins to accept these new beliefs as your truth. Over time, these positive beliefs become automatic, and you'll find that you no longer need to consciously remind yourself of them. Instead, they will naturally inform your thoughts, actions, and decisions, guiding you toward a more fulfilling and successful life. Hypnosis and subliminal programming. In addition to affirmations and repetition, hypnosis and subliminal programming are two powerful tools that can help you reprogram your subconscious mind on a deeper level. Hypnosis involves entering a state of deep relaxation and heightened suggestibility, during which the subconscious mind becomes more open to new ideas and suggestions. During hypnosis, you are able to bypass the conscious mind's critical filters, allowing positive suggestions to be more easily accepted by the subconscious. Hypnotherapy has been used for years to treat a wide variety of issues, including anxiety, smoking cessation, and weight loss. It is also highly effective for reprogramming negative beliefs and behaviors. While undergoing hypnosis, a trained hypnotherapist can guide you to uncover and address deeply rooted beliefs and patterns that are holding you back. For example, if you have a fear of failure, a hypnotherapist might guide you through a session in which you visualize yourself successfully navigating challenges and achieving your goals. This type of visualization, paired with positive suggestions, can help you break free from the fear-based beliefs that have been ingrained in your subconscious. Hypnosis is a powerful way to access the deeper layers of your subconscious mind and create lasting change. Subliminal programming, on the other hand, involves exposing the subconscious mind to positive messages below the level of conscious awareness. These messages are typically presented in the form of audio recordings, where affirmations or positive statements are played at a volume or frequency that is not consciously audible. The idea behind subliminal programming is that these messages can be absorbed by the subconscious mind without the conscious mind being aware of them. This allows the positive affirmations to bypass the critical filters of the conscious mind and directly influence the subconscious. Subliminal programming has been shown to be effective in helping individuals overcome limiting beliefs, improve self-esteem, and even change habits. Both hypnosis and subliminal programming offer powerful ways to reprogram the subconscious mind, but it's important to approach these methods with the right mindset. Consistency and patience are key, as the subconscious mind requires time to fully absorb and integrate new beliefs. While hypnosis and subliminal programming can be highly effective tools for accelerating change, they work best when combined with other strategies such as affirmation, repetition, and mindfulness. The more you engage with these techniques, the faster and more profound the changes in your subconscious mind will be. Chapter 5. Overcoming Fear and Doubt. Understanding the role of fear. Fear is an ancient and primal emotion that has been deeply ingrained in our evolutionary makeup. It is a survival mechanism, one that was originally designed to protect us from danger and keep us safe in a world filled with predators, environmental hazards, and unknown threats. This fight or flight response has allowed humans to survive and adapt to the harsh conditions of the past. However, in the modern world, fear often takes on a different role. While it is still useful in situations of immediate physical danger, fear can become irrational when it arises in non-threatening situations, especially when it prevents us from reaching our full potential. Fear manifests in a variety of ways, from the anxiety we feel about taking on new challenges, to the crippling self-doubt that holds us back from pursuing our dreams. It often shows up as an internal dialogue of, "What if I fail?" or "What if people judge me?" These thoughts can paralyze us, stopping us from taking action and moving forward in our lives. Overcoming fear, then, becomes one of the most powerful tools in reprogramming our mindset and unlocking our potential. When we allow fear to control our lives, it reinforces a belief that we are not capable of achieving the things we desire. Fear, in its most destructive form, can hold us in a state of inaction, trapping us in a cycle of hesitation and self-doubt. We may avoid opportunities that would otherwise help us grow, or shy away from new experiences that challenge our comfort zones. Fear can be a powerful force when left unchecked, but when we understand it and learn to confront it head-on, we can diminish its power and shift its energy into something positive. Fear itself is not the enemy. It is our response to fear that can make or break us. When we see fear as a signal to push forward rather than retreat, we unlock the opportunity for growth, success, and transformation. Fear becomes a tool rather than a barrier, guiding us to the very places that will test our strength and lead us to greater success. It's important to understand that fear is not something to be eradicated completely. The goal isn't to live without fear, but to learn how to live with fear and use it to our advantage. The key lies in acknowledging fear, understanding its source, and then making a conscious choice to move through it, rather than let it dictate our actions. Fear, in many ways, is a natural response to stepping into the unknown, and the very act of confronting it is an indication that you are on the verge of growth. Every successful person who has stepped out of their comfort zone has felt fear at some point. What distinguishes them from those who remain stuck is their ability to act despite fear. They do not let fear stop them. They learn to face it, move forward, and use it as a motivator rather than a deterrent. Understanding this process is critical for anyone who seeks to rewire their mind and unlock their infinite potential. Fear, when harnessed correctly, can become a stepping stone on the path to personal and professional success. Reframing. Fear as opportunity. The first step in overcoming fear is to reframe it. This involves seeing fear not as something to avoid, but as an opportunity for growth and development. Instead of viewing fear as a sign that you should back down or retreat, try to view it as an indication that you are about to break through a limitation and expand your boundaries. Reframing fear is all about changing your perspective. When you feel fear creeping in, instead of allowing it to paralyze you, ask yourself, what is the lesson here? How can this experience help me grow? Reframing fear in this way shifts its power from something that holds you back to something that propels you forward. By changing the way you think about fear, you can change how it affects you. When we start to reframe fear as a growth opportunity, we begin to see the challenges in our lives as stepping stones toward success rather than obstacles to avoid. This mindset shift is crucial as it helps to break the negative cycle of fear-based thinking and replaces it with a positive, action-oriented approach. For example, consider the fear of public speaking, a common fear that many people experience. For someone who reframes fear, public speaking becomes an opportunity to grow their confidence, develop communication skills, and connect with others in a meaningful way. Instead of focusing on the potential for failure, the person focuses on the value that public speaking brings to their personal and professional life. Reframing fear in this way transforms it from something negative into something positive, something that contributes to personal development and long-term success. This shift in perspective can be applied to any area of life, whether it's taking on a new career challenge, moving to a new city, or stepping into a new relationship. Reframing fear is not about denying that fear exists or pretending that it doesn't affect you. It's about acknowledging fear's presence and choosing to respond to it in a way that aligns with your goals. The more you practice this mindset shift, the easier it becomes to see fear as an opportunity rather than a threat. Eventually, you will begin to embrace fear as an essential part of your growth journey. And each time fear arises, you will recognize it as a sign that you are on the cusp of something great, building self-confidence. Self-confidence is one of the most important qualities you can cultivate when working to overcome fear. Confidence is the belief in your own abilities, and when you possess this belief, fear becomes less intimidating. It's not that confident people don't feel fear, but rather that they have developed the ability to take action despite it. Building self-confidence requires taking consistent action, even when you feel uncertain or afraid. Each small success that you experience builds your confidence and reinforces the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals. One of the best ways to build self-confidence is through repetition and positive reinforcement. This can be done through setting small, achievable goals and celebrating your progress along the way. For example, if you have a fear of public speaking, start by speaking in front of a small group of friends or family. As you gain experience and success in these smaller settings, your confidence will grow, and you'll feel more prepared to take on larger, more challenging speaking engagements. The key is to take consistent action, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Each step you take toward confronting your fear is an act of self-empowerment, and with every step, your confidence will grow. Another way to build confidence is through self-affirmation. Positive affirmations are a powerful tool for reprogramming your subconscious and reinforcing your belief in your own worth. By repeating affirmations such as, "I am capable," "I trust myself," and "I can handle any challenge," you send a message to your subconscious mind that you are strong, resilient, and worthy of success. Over time, these affirmations will begin to replace the negative self-talk that fuels fear and self-doubt. As your confidence grows, fear loses its grip on you, and you begin to take action with greater ease and certainty. The role of courage in growth courage is often viewed as the antidote to fear, but in reality, courage and fear coexist. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. It is the willingness to move forward, even when the outcome is uncertain, and to face the unknown with an open heart and mind. Courage is a critical component of personal growth, as it allows us to push through our fears and take bold steps toward our goals. Without courage, we would remain stagnant, avoiding the challenges that would otherwise help us grow. One of the ways to cultivate courage is to start small. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the magnitude of fear, but by taking small, manageable steps, you can gradually build the courage to face bigger challenges. For instance, if you are afraid of failure, start by taking calculated risks in smaller areas of your life. Each time you step outside your comfort zone and take action despite fear, you build your courage and expand your limits. Courage is like a muscle. It grows stronger with practice, and the more you exercise it, the more natural it becomes to face your fears head-on. Courage is also about persistence. It's not enough to face fear once and expect it to disappear. True courage involves showing up consistently, even when the outcome is uncertain, and continuing to move forward in the face of obstacles. As you continue to practice courage, you will develop resilience and mental toughness, which are essential for navigating life's challenges. Over time, courage will become a natural part of who you are. and you will find that fear no longer holds the power to stop you. Chapter 6. The Power of Positive Thinking. Positive thinking is not just a simple feel-good concept or a fleeting moment of optimism. It is a transformative mindset that has the power to radically shift the way you experience life. It influences how you perceive yourself, your circumstances, and the people around you. Positive thinking is rooted in the belief that, by changing our thoughts, we can change our reality. The very act of thinking positively rewires the neural pathways in the brain, which in turn alters our perception and shapes our behaviors. Over time, these changes become ingrained, and we begin to naturally gravitate toward a mindset of possibility and growth. This chapter is dedicated to exploring the profound impact that positive thinking can have on every area of your life. From health and relationships to career success and personal well-being, adopting a positive mindset is one of the most powerful tools you can use to unlock your infinite potential. The science behind positive thinking lies in the way our brain processes thoughts. When we engage in negative thinking, the brain releases stress hormones, which can lead to physical and mental health problems such as anxiety, depression, and a weakened immune system. On the other hand, when we practice positive thinking, our brain releases dopamine and serotonin, neurotransmitters associated with happiness, well-being, and motivation. Positive thinking activates the brain's reward system, reinforcing behaviors that support growth and success. Over time, this can lead to better physical health, a more resilient emotional state, and an overall improved quality of life. The effects are not just psychological, they extend to our physical bodies, as research has shown that those with a positive outlook on life tend to live longer, healthier lives. Positive thinking, however, does not mean ignoring the realities of life or pretending that everything is perfect. It is about choosing to focus on the good, the potential, and the opportunities, even in the face of adversity. It's about reframing challenges as opportunities for growth and shifting your mindset to one of possibility rather than limitation. Positive thinking is about controlling your internal dialogue and learning to counter negative thoughts with empowering affirmations. It's about breaking free from the habitual thought patterns that hold you back and replacing them with thoughts that propel you toward your goals. When you consciously choose to think positively, you take control of your mindset, and as a result, you take control of your life. This shift is essential for rewiring your brain and unlocking your infinite potential. Moreover, positive thinking is not just about thinking happy thoughts. It's about cultivating an attitude of gratitude, recognizing the abundance in your life and shifting your focus from what you lack to what you already have. When you are grateful for the small blessings in your life, you begin to attract more positive experiences. Gratitude changes your perspective and shifts your energy. It opens you up to the present moment and allows you to appreciate the beauty in your life, no matter how small. By practicing gratitude regularly, you develop a habit of looking for the good in every situation, which in turn makes it easier to stay positive even when things aren't going as planned. In a world that often focuses on what's wrong, gratitude helps you to focus on what's right. The more you practice gratitude, the more you train your mind to seek out positivity, which helps you to rewire your brain for success and fulfillment. Challenging negative thoughts. One of the first steps in harnessing the power of positive thinking is recognizing and challenging your negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are insidious. They creep into our minds without us even realizing it, often shaping our reality in ways that limit our potential. These thoughts can be self-critical, pessimistic, or simply focused on the worst-case scenario. They may come in the form of, "I'm not good enough," "I always fail," or "things never go my way." The more we dwell on these thoughts, the more they reinforce the belief that we are incapable or undeserving of success. This cycle of negative thinking becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. As the more we believe in our limitations, the more we create circumstances that reinforce them. To break free from this cycle, we must begin to challenge these negative thoughts head on. The first step is to become aware of them. This requires a level of mindfulness, paying attention to your thoughts without judgment. Once you catch a negative thought in the act, ask yourself, is this thought based on facts, or is it just a product of my mind's tendency to focus on the worst-case scenario? Often, negative thoughts are exaggerated or distorted versions of reality. By questioning their validity, you can begin to see them for what they are: temporary and unfounded beliefs that have no real power over you. Next, replace negative thoughts with more realistic positive affirmations. For example, if your mind tells you, "I'm not good enough," counter it with, "I am capable and worthy of success." If you think, "I'll never get that job," replace it with, "I have the skills and qualities that make me a strong candidate." It's important to focus on affirmations that are positive and empowering, but also grounded in truth. This helps to build your confidence and belief in yourself, while gradually shifting your mindset from one of limitation to one of abundance and possibility. Over time, as you consistently challenge your negative thoughts, you will rewire your brain to automatically default to more positive and constructive beliefs. In addition to affirmations, cognitive reframing is another powerful tool for challenging negative thinking. Cognitive reframing involves changing the way you interpret a situation. For instance, if you receive constructive criticism at work, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, reframe it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," say, "This feedback helps me become better at my job." Reframing allows you to see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and setbacks as stepping stones. The more you practice cognitive reframing, the more natural it becomes to see the positive aspects of any situation, which is essential for developing a mindset of resilience and growth. Surrounding yourself with positivity. While positive thinking is an internal process, it is also deeply influenced by the people and environment around us. The energy we absorb from our surroundings has a significant impact on our mindset. Just as a plant needs sunlight and water to thrive, our minds need positive energy, uplifting relationships, and a supportive environment to flourish. When we are surrounded by negativity, whether it's from toxic people, discouraging news, or an environment that drains our energy, it becomes much harder to maintain a positive mindset. On the other hand, when we surround ourselves with positivity, our ability to think positively, remain focused, and stay motivated is greatly enhanced. One of the most important steps you can take to nurture a positive mindset is to evaluate the people you spend time with. Are they uplifting and supportive, or do they drain your energy with their negativity and criticism? It's essential to cultivate relationships with people who encourage your growth, celebrate your successes, and help you see the possibilities in your life. Surrounding yourself with positive influences doesn't mean that you need to cut people out of your life entirely, but rather, it means being mindful of the energy you allow to affect you. Seek out people who inspire you, challenge you in healthy ways, and support you as you work toward your goals. These relationships will reinforce your positive thinking and provide the encouragement you need when times get tough. Your environment also plays a crucial role in shaping your mindset. If your physical space is cluttered, chaotic, or uninspiring, it can affect your ability to focus and think clearly. On the other hand, a clean, organized, and aesthetically pleasing space can promote feelings of calm, creativity, and positivity. Create an environment that reflects your values, supports your well-being, and encourages growth. This could mean decluttering your living space, surrounding yourself with objects that bring you joy, or creating a designated space for reflection and goal setting. By designing your environment to support your positive mindset, you create a physical manifestation of your inner growth, which can help to reinforce the positive changes you are making in your life. In addition to your physical environment, the media you consume also has a profound impact on your mindset. Constant exposure to negative news, sensationalism, and fear-based narratives can perpetuate feelings of anxiety, helplessness, and pessimism. While it's important to stay informed, it's equally important to be selective about the information you absorb. Choose to focus on content that inspires, educates, and uplifts you. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch documentaries, and engage with material that aligns with your values and supports your growth. The more positive content you consume, the more you reinforce the positive thinking patterns that will help you create the life you desire. Maintaining positivity through adversity. Maintaining a positive mindset during difficult times can be challenging, but it is precisely during adversity that positive thinking can have the most profound impact. Life is full of ups and downs, and no one is exempt from facing hardships. Whether you're dealing with personal loss, financial difficulties, or health challenges, it can be easy to slip into negative thinking and despair. However, it is in these moments that the power of positive thinking becomes crucial. When you choose to remain positive during adversity, you create a mental buffer that protects you from the debilitating effects of stress and negativity. One of the keys to maintaining positivity during difficult times is to focus on what you can control. While you may not be able to control external circumstances, you can control your response to them. By shifting your focus from what's going wrong to what you can do to move forward, you empower yourself to take action. For example, if you're facing a financial setback, instead of dwelling on the loss, focus on creating a plan to improve your situation. Look for opportunities to cut expenses, increase your income, or learn new skills. By focusing on solutions rather than problems, you maintain a sense of agency and control, which helps to keep your mindset positive. Another powerful tool for maintaining positivity during adversity is gratitude. In challenging times, it's easy to fall into a mindset of scarcity, focusing on what you don't have or what's going wrong. However, by practicing gratitude, you shift your focus to what you do have and the things that are going well in your life. This shift in perspective can create a sense of peace and contentment, even in the midst of hardship. Gratitude helps to put things into perspective and reminds you that, no matter how difficult life may seem, there is always something to be grateful for. Chapter 7. The Art of Self-Discipline. Self-discipline is often seen as the key that unlocks the door to success. It's the ability to stay focused on your goals, even when distractions or obstacles arise. Self-discipline is what allows you to push through tough times, stay on course, and avoid the temptation to give up. It's the driving force behind consistency, productivity, and long-term achievement. In this chapter, we will explore the importance of self-discipline, how it can be developed, and how it directly contributes to living a life aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. At its core, self-discipline is about making decisions based on your long-term goals, rather than giving in to short-term pleasures or distractions. It's the willingness to delay gratification, to make the right choice, even when it feels hard or uncomfortable. It's about doing the things you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing them. Self-discipline is not about being perfect or adhering to rigid rules, but rather about having the willpower to stay focused, make positive choices, and stay on track even when things get tough. In a world full of distractions, the ability to cultivate self-discipline is more important than ever. Without it, you risk being swept along by the currents of immediate gratification, leaving your dreams and goals out of reach. One of the most important aspects of self-discipline is learning to manage your time effectively. Time is our most precious resource, yet many people squander it by procrastinating, overcommitting, or getting caught up in unproductive activities. The key to developing self-discipline is learning how to prioritize your time and focus on what truly matters. This requires you to get clear on your goals and understand the steps needed to achieve them. It also means saying no to things that don't align with your values or take away from your ability to focus on your priorities. Time management is not about rigid schedules or micromanaging every minute of your day, but about creating a structure that supports your long-term objectives while allowing for flexibility and growth. Another vital component of self-discipline is overcoming procrastination. Procrastination is the enemy of progress, often rooted in fear, perfectionism, or a lack of motivation. It can manifest as putting off tasks that you know are important, avoiding uncomfortable decisions, or getting lost in small non-essential tasks in an effort to avoid bigger challenges. Procrastination can quickly derail your efforts and leave you feeling frustrated and unproductive. However, the good news is that overcoming procrastination is possible, and it starts with acknowledging the underlying reasons for it. Often, procrastination stems from fear of failure, overwhelm, or the belief that you aren't capable of succeeding. Once you identify the root causes, you can begin to address them by breaking tasks into smaller, more manageable steps, setting realistic deadlines, and focusing on the next right action. The key to overcoming procrastination is to build momentum. Once you get started, it becomes much easier to stay on track and continue moving forward. Setting clear and achievable goals. A key factor in developing self-discipline is setting clear and achievable goals. Without a clear vision of what you want to achieve, it's easy to lose focus and become distracted by irrelevant tasks or immediate pleasures. Goals give you direction, purpose, and a sense of motivation. They help you to stay focused, even when faced with obstacles or challenges. The key is to set goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. SMART. When your goals are clear and structured, it becomes much easier to stay on track and maintain the level of discipline needed to achieve them. To set effective goals, begin by identifying what matters most to you. What are your long-term aspirations? What is your vision for your life? These are the big picture goals that will serve as the foundation for your smaller, more immediate objectives. Once you've defined your long-term goals, break them down into smaller, actionable steps. Each of these smaller steps should be something that you can realistically accomplish within a set time frame. These smaller goals will help you build momentum, creating a sense of progress that will fuel your motivation and reinforce your commitment to your larger goals. By making your goals measurable, you can track your progress and adjust your approach as needed. Remember, self-discipline is about taking consistent action, and having a roadmap in the form of clear, achievable goals is one of the most effective ways to maintain your focus and stay on course. It's also important to review your goals regularly. Revisit them at least once a week to assess your progress, identify any roadblocks, and adjust your strategy. This regular check-in helps you stay accountable and ensures that you remain aligned with your long-term vision. If you find that you've gotten off track, don't be discouraged. Self-discipline is about course correction, not perfection. Use your setbacks as learning opportunities and continue to move forward, taking one step at a time toward the accomplishment of your goals. Building habits of success. One of the most effective ways to cultivate self-discipline is by building habits that support your long-term goals. Habits are powerful because they allow you to take consistent, small actions that add up over time. They are the building blocks of success, and by creating habits that align with your values, you make progress towards your goals every single day. The beauty of habits is that once they're established, they no longer require the same level of effort or willpower. They become automatic, freeing up your mental energy to focus on other aspects of your life. To build successful habits, start small. It's easy to become overwhelmed by the idea of completely overhauling your life in one go, but real change comes from taking small, consistent steps over time. Begin by identifying 1 or 2 habits that would make the most impact on your life. For example, if you want to improve your health, you could start by committing to a daily walk, drinking more water, or eating more vegetables. If your goal is to advance in your career, you could commit to reading for 30 minutes a day or setting aside time each morning to work on important projects. By starting small and gradually increasing your efforts, you avoid burnout and increase your chances of success. It's also helpful to track your progress as you build new habits. Use a habit tracker or journal to keep track of your daily actions and celebrate your successes. This reinforcement will not only help you stay on track, but will also create a sense of accomplishment that boosts your confidence and motivates you to continue. The key is to stay consistent. Even if you miss a day or fall short of your goals, don't give up. Success is built on perseverance, and by continuing to show up, you'll eventually create lasting habits that support your long-term success. One powerful technique for building habits is the use of triggers. A trigger is a prompt that reminds you to take action. For example, if you want to establish a habit of journaling each morning, you might place your journal next to your coffee maker. When you see the journal, it serves as a reminder to write. By associating a new habit with an existing routine or trigger, you make it easier to incorporate the new behavior into your life. Over time, these habits will become automatic and your level of self-discipline will naturally increase. Staying motivated through challenges. Even the most disciplined individuals face moments of doubt, frustration, and temptation. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when progress seems slow, or when distractions pull you away from your goals. It is during these moments that self-discipline truly comes into play. Staying motivated through challenges requires a deep commitment to your vision and a strong belief in your ability to overcome obstacles. It's about finding ways to push through the difficult times and stay focused on the bigger picture, even when things aren't going as planned. One of the most powerful strategies for staying motivated is to remind yourself of your why. Why do you want to achieve your goals? What's at stake? When you reconnect with your deeper purpose, it reignites your passion and helps you stay focused on the long-term benefits of your hard work. Whether your why is to provide for your family, to make a positive impact in your community, or to achieve personal fulfillment, keeping it in mind will help you stay resilient when challenges arise. It's also important to celebrate small wins along the way. Motivation thrives on progress, and when you acknowledge and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small, you build momentum. Each step forward is a victory, and every time you push through a challenge, you strengthen your self-discipline. Remember, success is not an overnight event, but a series of small, consistent actions. By staying focused on these incremental wins, you build the resilience needed to overcome bigger challenges in the future. Chapter 8. The Power of Emotional Intelligence. Emotional intelligence, EQ, has become a critical skill in both personal and professional life. It determines how well we understand and manage our own emotions, how well we recognize and influence the emotions of others, and how we navigate social complexities. While intelligence quotient, IQ, often garners the most attention in traditional settings, it is emotional intelligence that truly shapes our ability to lead, build relationships, and thrive in the modern world. This chapter will delve into the power of emotional intelligence, its 5 key components, and how you can strengthen your EQ to enhance your life and your relationships. At its core, emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions, both your own and others, and use that understanding to guide your thinking and actions. It's what allows you to remain calm under pressure, make thoughtful decisions, and communicate effectively with those around you. Emotional intelligence is often divided into 5 distinct components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Together, these elements form the foundation of EQ, enabling us to navigate life's complexities with emotional depth and mental clarity. But more importantly, emotional intelligence is a skill that can be developed, refined, and mastered with practice. By focusing on enhancing each of these components, we can learn to handle stress, resolve conflicts, and improve our overall well-being. One of the most essential components of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the ability to recognize and understand your own emotions, as well as how they affect your thoughts and behaviors. It's about being in tune with your internal state and having a clear sense of your strengths, weaknesses, values, and motivations. Self-awareness allows you to understand why you feel a certain way in specific situations and how your emotions might be influencing your reactions. It's a critical skill because it serves as the foundation for developing the other aspects of emotional intelligence. When you are self-aware, you are more likely to make thoughtful decisions rather than reactive ones, and you can approach challenges with a clear sense of purpose and intention. People with high self-awareness are generally more confident and grounded in their beliefs, which leads to greater emotional stability and stronger interpersonal relationships. Self-regulation is the ability to control or redirect disruptive emotions and impulses. It's about staying calm and composed in stressful situations, making decisions that are aligned with your long-term goals, and avoiding rash or impulsive behavior. Emotional regulation is not about suppressing your emotions, but rather about understanding them and choosing how to express them appropriately. It's an essential component of emotional intelligence because it allows you to maintain a sense of balance, even in difficult circumstances. When you can manage your emotions effectively, you prevent them from clouding your judgment or creating unnecessary conflict. In a professional context, for example, self-regulation is crucial for maintaining focus, remaining productive, and navigating high-pressure situations with grace. In your personal life, self-regulation helps you manage stress, avoid unnecessary arguments, and maintain a sense of calm in the face of challenges. Motivation is another key component of emotional intelligence. People with high emotional intelligence are often intrinsically motivated, meaning that they are driven by internal goals, values, and a deep sense of purpose. Motivation in the context of emotional intelligence is about being passionate and determined to achieve long-term goals, even when faced with obstacles or setbacks. It's the ability to persist through difficulty, maintain focus, and continually strive for self-improvement. Motivation is what propels you forward even when the road gets tough. It is the fuel that sustains your efforts, and it's often tied to your deeper sense of purpose and meaning in life. High levels of emotional intelligence enable individuals to stay motivated by aligning their goals with their values, creating a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction in the pursuit of success. Developing self-awareness. Developing self-awareness is perhaps the most important step toward improving emotional intelligence. It's the gateway to understanding yourself on a deeper level, which in turn allows you to manage your emotions more effectively. Becoming self-aware requires introspection and mindfulness, the practice of being present and attuned to your thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations in the moment. Mindfulness allows you to observe your emotions without judgment and gain insight into how they influence your behavior. Through regular mindfulness practice, such as meditation or journaling, you can start to notice patterns in your emotional responses and identify the underlying causes. The more you understand your emotions, the better you can regulate them, which leads to improved emotional stability and better decision-making. Another powerful tool for developing self-awareness is soliciting feedback from others. Sometimes, we are too close to our own experiences to see ourselves clearly, which is why external feedback can be invaluable. By asking trusted friends, family members, or colleagues for constructive feedback, you can gain a different perspective on your emotional responses and behavior. Feedback allows you to identify blind spots and areas for improvement that you may not have been aware of. This can be especially helpful in the workplace, where understanding how you are perceived by others can lead to stronger professional relationships and greater success. When you combine mindfulness practices with feedback from others, you create a comprehensive approach to self-awareness that enables you to develop a deeper understanding of yourself. Finally, journaling is another excellent way to enhance self-awareness. Writing down your thoughts, emotions, and experiences helps you process and reflect on your inner world. By journaling regularly, you can track how your emotions fluctuate over time, identify recurring patterns, and explore the underlying causes of your feelings. This process not only enhances self-awareness, but also promotes emotional clarity and provides a safe space for emotional expression. Over time, journaling can help you gain valuable insights into your emotional triggers, desires, and goals, enabling you to approach challenges with greater emotional intelligence. Mastering emotional regulation. Mastering emotional regulation is a key aspect of emotional intelligence that allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with resilience and composure. Emotional regulation is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending they don't exist. Rather, it's about learning how to respond to your emotions in healthy, productive ways. When you can regulate your emotions effectively, you avoid impulsive reactions that might cause unnecessary harm to yourself or others. And you are better equipped to make thoughtful, rational decisions under pressure. One technique for regulating your emotions is to practice deep breathing. Deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps to calm the body's stress response and restore emotional balance. By taking slow, deep breaths, you can lower your heart rate, reduce anxiety, and regain a sense of clarity. This technique can be particularly useful in high-stress situations, such as before a presentation or during a difficult conversation. Another method for emotional regulation is cognitive reappraisal, the process of changing the way you interpret a situation in order to alter your emotional response. For example, if you receive critical feedback at work, instead of viewing it as a personal attack, you can reframe it as an opportunity for growth and improvement. By changing your perspective, you can prevent negative emotions from taking over and instead respond in a more constructive manner. In addition to these techniques, it's important to cultivate a mindset of self-compassion. Often, we can be our own worst critics, especially when we're feeling emotional or vulnerable. However, self-compassion allows us to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding during times of difficulty, rather than judging or berating ourselves. When we practice self-compassion, we become more accepting of our emotions and less likely to react impulsively. By embracing emotional regulation practices and adopting a compassionate mindset, we empower ourselves to handle challenges with greater emotional intelligence and resilience. The importance of empathy and social skills. While self-awareness and emotional regulation are essential, emotional intelligence would be incomplete without empathy and social skills. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, while social skills refer to the ability to build and maintain positive relationships. Both of these components are crucial for navigating social interactions, building trust, and fostering connection. Empathy allows us to step into another person's shoes, to feel what they are feeling, and to respond in a way that is compassionate and understanding. This ability is essential for creating deep, meaningful relationships, whether in our personal lives or in professional settings. To develop empathy, it's important to practice active listening. Active listening involves fully focusing on the speaker, making eye contact, and giving them your undivided attention. It requires you to listen without judgment or interruption, allowing the other person to express their feelings without feeling rushed or dismissed. By practicing active listening, you demonstrate empathy and respect, creating a safe space for open communication. In addition to active listening, it's helpful to ask open-ended questions and offer thoughtful responses that reflect your understanding of the other person's emotions. When you show empathy in this way, you strengthen your connections and foster trust. Social skills, on the other hand, refer to the ability to navigate social situations and build positive cooperative relationships. Strong social skills include effective communication, conflict resolution, and collaboration. In the workplace, social skills are essential for teamwork, leadership, and building a supportive network. In your personal life, they are crucial for resolving conflicts, maintaining healthy relationships, and creating a sense of community. To improve your social skills, focus on developing clear, empathetic communication, being open to feedback, and practicing conflict resolution strategies. By strengthening your social skills, you enhance your ability to connect with others and create harmonious, supportive relationships. Chapter 9. Navigating Challenges with Resilience. Resilience is often defined as the ability to bounce back from adversity, but it is far more than simply recovering from setbacks. Resilience is the capacity to face difficulties head-on, adapt to challenges, and use the experiences to grow stronger. It's the inner strength that allows us to withstand the storms of life, be they personal, professional, or emotional, and continue moving forward. In this chapter, we will explore the concept of resilience, its importance in the face of life's challenges, and practical strategies for developing and nurturing this critical quality. Life is full of challenges, and no one is immune to experiencing difficult times. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, a job setback, a health crisis, or a relationship breakdown, we all encounter obstacles that can leave us feeling overwhelmed and defeated. However, how we respond to these challenges plays a pivotal role in determining whether we emerge stronger or remain stuck in the struggle. Resilience does not mean that we don't experience pain, frustration, or fear. Rather, it's the ability to confront those emotions, learn from them, and continue on our journey with a renewed sense of purpose and determination. It is about adjusting our mindset, building emotional strength, and fostering the belief that, no matter what we face, we have the tools to overcome it. The key to resilience lies in understanding that setbacks are a natural part of life. They are not a reflection of our worth, but rather a part of the human experience that shapes who we are. One of the first steps toward building resilience is shifting our perspective on failure. Instead of viewing setbacks as insurmountable obstacles, we can learn to see them as opportunities for growth. When we adopt a growth mindset, we acknowledge that challenges are not the end, but a chance to learn, adapt, and emerge stronger than before. This mindset shift is essential for building resilience because it helps us to reframe failure as a temporary and necessary part of the process, rather than a permanent roadblock. The role of optimism in resilience. Optimism plays a central role in resilience. While it may seem natural to feel defeated or discouraged when faced with adversity, maintaining an optimistic outlook can significantly enhance our ability to overcome challenges. Optimism is not about blind positivity or ignoring the difficulties we face. Rather, it is about believing that we have the ability to handle challenges and that better days are ahead. Optimistic individuals are more likely to see setbacks as temporary and solvable, rather than as insurmountable or permanent. This belief in eventual success fuels perseverance and the drive to continue moving forward despite setbacks. The power of optimism can be seen in the way it affects our emotional and physical well-being. Studies have shown that individuals with an optimistic outlook are better equipped to cope with stress and tend to have healthier immune systems. They are less likely to experience anxiety or depression in the face of adversity and are more likely to take proactive steps toward solving their problems. This sense of hope and possibility enhances their ability to stay motivated even when circumstances are challenging. One way to foster optimism is through reframing negative thoughts. When faced with a difficult situation, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger from this experience? Shifting the focus from the problem to the potential for growth allows you to view setbacks with a sense of possibility rather than despair. In addition to reframing negative thoughts, cultivating gratitude can also strengthen optimism. Research has shown that regularly practicing gratitude can enhance resilience by shifting our attention away from what we lack or what is going wrong, and instead focusing on the positive aspects of our lives. When we intentionally acknowledge the things we are grateful for, whether it's our health, our relationships, or our ability to learn and grow, we strengthen our emotional resilience and develop a more positive outlook. Gratitude acts as a powerful antidote to negativity, helping us to see the good even in challenging times and reminding us that there is always something to be thankful for, no matter how tough things may seem. The power of self-compassion. Another vital element of resilience is self-compassion, the ability to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding when we face failure, disappointment, or personal hardship. Self-compassion involves embracing our imperfections and acknowledging that we are only human. Instead of harshly criticizing ourselves for mistakes or shortcomings, we practice gentleness, offering ourselves the same understanding and support that we would offer a friend in a similar situation. This practice is particularly important when we face challenges, as it allows us to navigate difficulties without adding unnecessary emotional suffering. Self-compassion is crucial for resilience because it provides emotional comfort and reduces the harmful effects of self-criticism. When we are kind to ourselves during tough times, we are more likely to persevere and stay motivated. On the other hand, when we engage in negative self-talk or self-blame, we weaken our ability to cope with adversity. Self-compassion involves recognizing that suffering is a natural part of the human experience and that we do not need to go through it alone. By offering ourselves support and understanding, we create the emotional space needed to heal and grow stronger from our experiences. One way to practice self-compassion is through mindful self-awareness. When faced with a challenge or setback, take a moment to pause and acknowledge your feelings without judgment. Instead of labeling yourself as a failure or feeling ashamed, recognize that it is okay to feel upset or frustrated. This awareness allows you to embrace your emotions and respond to them with kindness, rather than suppressing them or letting them overwhelm you. By practicing self-compassion regularly, we create a foundation of emotional resilience that helps us face life's challenges with greater strength and acceptance. Building a strong support system. While resilience is often seen as an individual trait, one of the most powerful ways to build resilience is through social support. Having a strong network of friends, family, and colleagues can provide the emotional nourishment we need to face life's challenges. When we go through tough times, it is easy to feel isolated or overwhelmed, but the presence of a supportive community can make all the difference. Social support provides us with the emotional validation, encouragement, and perspective needed to navigate difficult situations. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and that others care about our well-being. Building and maintaining strong relationships is crucial for resilience because these connections provide us with resources that can help us cope with stress. Whether it's offering a listening ear, providing practical help, or simply being there for us during difficult times, a solid support system can significantly reduce feelings of anxiety and helplessness. In fact, studies have shown that individuals with strong social support systems are better able to cope with stress, recover from illness, and manage emotional challenges. They are also less likely to experience feelings of loneliness or isolation, which can exacerbate feelings of depression and anxiety. To build a strong support system, it's important to foster meaningful relationships based on trust, empathy, and mutual respect. This means investing time and effort into nurturing connections with people who genuinely care about your well-being and who are willing to provide support when needed. Additionally, it's important to be open and vulnerable with others, allowing them to see the real you and share in both your successes and your struggles. By cultivating these authentic relationships, you create a safety net that provides emotional stability and strength during challenging times. Chapter 10. Mastering self-discipline. Self-discipline is one of the most powerful tools at our disposal for achieving long-term success, personal growth, and overall well-being. It is the inner strength that drives us to consistently take the necessary actions toward our goals, even when motivation wanes or distractions arise. At its core, self-discipline is about making choices that align with our values, priorities, and long-term vision, even when short-term temptations or challenges present themselves. In this chapter, we will explore the nature of self-discipline, how to cultivate it, and why it is essential for unlocking your full potential. In many ways, self-discipline is the bridge between where we are now and where we want to be. It is easy to talk about dreams and aspirations, but the reality of bringing those dreams into fruition requires commitment, focus, and, most importantly, consistent action. Without self-discipline, even the most brilliant plans can fall apart. Think of self-discipline as the muscle that needs to be regularly exercised to grow stronger. The more we practice discipline in our daily lives, the more it becomes ingrained in our behavior, making it easier to stay on track, even when obstacles arise. It's the ability to stay committed to your goals when you don't feel like it, to continue the course even when the initial excitement fades, and to persist through adversity without losing sight of the bigger picture. Self-discipline is often misunderstood as the ability to avoid temptation or pleasure. While it does require making sacrifices, it is more than simply saying no to things. In fact, self-discipline involves making choices that align with your values and long-term goals, even if those choices are difficult in the moment. This means that self-discipline is not just about denying yourself immediate pleasures, but about finding the courage to make the right choices in the face of temptation. It requires an awareness of what truly matters to you, whether it's health, success, personal growth, or happiness, and using that awareness to guide your decisions. This deeper understanding of self-discipline helps us view it not as a restrictive force, but as a liberating one, enabling us to make decisions that bring us closer to the lives we envision for ourselves. The science of self-discipline. The science behind self-discipline reveals a fascinating interplay of brain function, behavior, and emotions. Research has shown that self-discipline is rooted in the brain's prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, impulse control, and regulating emotions. The prefrontal cortex acts as the executive center of the brain, helping us plan for the future, control our impulses, and prioritize long-term goals over short-term desires. This is why self-discipline is not just a matter of willpower, but a cognitive skill that can be developed and strengthened with practice. When we exercise self-discipline, we are training our prefrontal cortex to make better decisions and override the impulses that can lead us astray. However, self-discipline is not limitless. Studies have shown that willpower operates much like a muscle. It can become fatigued after prolonged use. This phenomenon, known as ego depletion, suggests that the more we rely on self-control in a given period, the less we have available for subsequent decisions. This is why it's crucial to build habits that require less active self-control and to structure our environments in ways that make good decisions the default ones. For instance, if you want to stick to a healthier diet, it's helpful to plan meals in advance, keep unhealthy foods out of the house, and surround yourself with reminders of your goals. By reducing the need for constant decision-making, you make self-discipline less taxing and more sustainable in the long run. Another fascinating aspect of self-discipline is its relationship with emotions. Emotions can often be the driving force behind impulsive decisions, and learning to manage our emotional responses is key to exercising self-discipline effectively. For example, feelings of stress or anxiety can lead us to seek immediate relief, whether that comes in the form of unhealthy food, procrastination, or avoidance. By developing emotional regulation skills, such as mindfulness, self-awareness, and reframing negative thoughts, we can better manage our emotional triggers and make decisions that align with our long-term goals, rather than succumbing to temporary urges. Over time, this strengthens our ability to exercise self-discipline and reinforces positive behaviors that bring us closer to our desired outcomes. Building healthy habits for long-term success. One of the most effective ways to strengthen self-discipline is by focusing on building healthy habits that support our goals. Habits are automatic behaviors that we perform without much thought or effort, and they form the foundation of our daily routines. The more positive habits we establish, the less reliant we become on willpower alone to make good choices. Instead, our actions become ingrained in our subconscious, making it easier to stay on track without needing constant effort or decision-making. The key to building lasting habits is to start small and be consistent. Trying to overhaul your entire life overnight is often overwhelming and unsustainable. Instead, focus on one small change at a time. For example, if your goal is to get fit, you might start by committing to a 10-minute workout each morning. This small, manageable change is far less daunting than trying to commit to an hour-long workout right away. Once the habit becomes ingrained, you can gradually increase the intensity or duration, but the crucial part is starting with a manageable goal that you can stick to. The consistency of these small actions is what ultimately leads to long-term success. Tracking progress is another important aspect of building habits. Whether it's keeping a journal, using an app, or simply checking off a calendar, monitoring your progress provides valuable feedback and reinforces your commitment to the habit. When we see tangible evidence of our progress, such as improved health, more energy, or increased productivity, it fuels our motivation and strengthens our self-discipline. Additionally, tracking progress allows us to celebrate small victories, which boosts our morale and provides the momentum we need to continue moving forward. Accountability is also a powerful tool in building habits. Having someone to share your goals with or check in with can make a significant difference in maintaining self-discipline. This could be a friend, family member, or coach who holds you accountable for following through on your commitments. Knowing that someone else is aware of your goals can provide the extra push to stay disciplined, even when motivation dips. You can also join support groups or communities where like-minded individuals encourage one another in their pursuit of self-discipline and success. Overcoming common obstacles to self-discipline. Despite our best intentions, obstacles will inevitably arise that challenge our ability to maintain self-discipline. Life is full of distractions, temptations, and unforeseen circumstances that can derail our progress. However, the ability to navigate these obstacles with resilience and persistence is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. The key to overcoming obstacles is to anticipate them in advance and develop strategies for handling them when they arise. One of the most common obstacles to self-discipline is procrastination. We often delay taking action because we feel overwhelmed, lack motivation, or are afraid of failure. To overcome procrastination, it's helpful to break tasks down into smaller, more manageable steps. By focusing on one small task at a time, the overall goal becomes less intimidating, and we are more likely to take the first step. Another technique is to use the 2-minute rule. If a task will take less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. This rule helps to reduce the mental resistance to starting, making it easier to build momentum. Another obstacle is perfectionism, which can create unrealistic expectations and lead to frustration when things don't go as planned. Perfectionism often stems from the fear of making mistakes or not meeting high standards, and it can paralyze us from taking action. To overcome perfectionism, it's important to embrace the concept of progress over perfection. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment or ideal conditions, focus on making incremental improvements. Celebrate small wins along the way and recognize that mistakes are an inevitable part of the learning process. By shifting the focus from perfection to progress, we free ourselves from the paralysis that often accompanies perfectionism and regain the momentum to move forward. Lastly, self-doubt is a significant obstacle to self-discipline. When we question our abilities or feel insecure about our progress, it can be difficult to stay disciplined and keep going. Overcoming self-doubt requires cultivating self-belief and reinforcing the idea that we are capable of achieving our goals. This can be done through positive affirmations, visualizations, and surrounding ourselves with supportive people who encourage us to push through self-doubt. Trusting in ourselves and our ability to overcome challenges is essential for maintaining the self-discipline needed to achieve lasting success. Chapter 11. The Power of Mindfulness in Achieving Success. Mindfulness is a practice that has gained significant attention over the past few decades due to its profound impact on mental well-being, personal growth, and overall success. At its essence, mindfulness is about being fully present and engaged in the moment, without judgment or distraction. It is the practice of observing your thoughts, emotions, and experiences with a sense of awareness and acceptance, rather than reacting to them impulsively. By cultivating mindfulness, you gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your reactions to the world around you, enabling you to make more intentional choices that align with your long-term goals. In this chapter, we will explore the transformative power of mindfulness, how it can enhance your focus, decision-making, and emotional regulation, and why it is an essential tool for achieving lasting success. One of the most significant benefits of mindfulness is its ability to enhance focus and concentration. In today's fast-paced, multitasking-driven world, it is easy to become distracted by external stimuli or internal thoughts. We often find ourselves jumping from task to task, unable to fully immerse ourselves in any one activity. This constant state of distraction can lead to decreased productivity, increased stress, and a sense of frustration. Mindfulness, however, helps counteract this tendency by training the mind to focus on the present moment. When you practice mindfulness, you develop the ability to direct your attention to the task at hand without being pulled away by distractions. This improved focus not only allows you to work more efficiently, but also helps you maintain a sense of clarity and calm, even in the midst of chaos. Another powerful aspect of mindfulness is its ability to enhance decision-making. We are often faced with a multitude of choices throughout the day, and many of these decisions are made impulsively, driven by emotions or external pressures. Mindfulness helps you slow down and evaluate your options with a clear, rational mind. By taking a moment to pause, breathe, and assess the situation, you can make decisions that are in alignment with your values and long-term goals, rather than reacting out of habit or stress. This practice of mindful decision-making can have a profound impact on both your personal and professional life, as it allows you to make choices that are thoughtful, deliberate, and ultimately more fulfilling. Moreover, mindfulness can help regulate your emotions, which is a critical component of personal success. Emotional regulation refers to the ability to manage your emotional responses to various situations, preventing impulsive reactions and fostering a balanced state of mind. For example, when faced with a challenging situation, mindfulness allows you to acknowledge your emotions without becoming overwhelmed by them. Instead of reacting with frustration or anxiety, you can take a step back, breathe, and choose a more measured response. This emotional awareness and control are vital for maintaining a sense of composure and resilience, especially when navigating difficult circumstances or pursuing long-term goals that require sustained effort. The science behind mindfulness. To truly understand the power of mindfulness, it is important to delve into the science behind it. Research has shown that mindfulness has a profound effect on the brain, particularly in areas associated with attention, emotional regulation, and self-awareness. Studies using brain imaging technology have demonstrated that mindfulness meditation can lead to changes in the structure and function of the brain, specifically in the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for higher cognitive functions like decision-making, impulse control, and attention. Regular mindfulness practice has been shown to increase the thickness of the prefrontal cortex, which is associated with improved executive functioning and emotional regulation. In addition to the prefrontal cortex, mindfulness has been found to affect the amygdala, the part of the brain that processes emotions such as fear and anxiety. When we experience stress or negative emotions, the amygdala activates, triggering a fight or flight response. However, mindfulness practice has been shown to reduce the activity of the amygdala, leading to a calmer, more measured response to stressful situations. This reduction in emotional reactivity allows individuals to remain more composed and focused, even in high-pressure environments. The ability to regulate the amygdala's response to stress is particularly beneficial for individuals striving to achieve long-term goals, as it helps prevent impulsive decision-making driven by fear or anxiety. Furthermore, mindfulness has been linked to increased connectivity between different regions of the brain, enhancing communication between the prefrontal cortex and the amygdala. This improved connectivity enables individuals to better manage their emotions and respond to situations with greater clarity and composure. It also enhances cognitive flexibility, allowing individuals to adapt to changing circumstances and make decisions that are aligned with their long-term objectives. The brain's ability to shift from reactive to thoughtful, intentional decision-making is a crucial skill for anyone striving to achieve success in both their personal and professional lives. How to incorporate mindfulness into daily life. While mindfulness is often associated with meditation, it is not limited to a formal practice. In fact, mindfulness can be integrated into every aspect of your daily life, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. One of the most effective ways to incorporate mindfulness into your routine is to practice mindful breathing. This simple technique involves focusing your attention on your breath, paying attention to the sensation of the air entering and leaving your body. By taking a few moments throughout the day to breathe deeply and mindfully, you can center yourself and bring your attention back to the present moment. This practice can be especially useful in moments of stress or distraction, as it helps to calm the mind and refocus your energy on what truly matters. Another way to cultivate mindfulness is through mindful observation. This involves fully immersing yourself in the present moment and paying close attention to your surroundings, sensations, and experiences. Whether you are walking outside, eating a meal, or engaging in a conversation, try to engage all of your senses and be fully aware of what is happening in that moment. By tuning into the present moment with intention and awareness, you can develop a deeper appreciation for the world around you and foster a sense of gratitude for the small, everyday experiences that often go unnoticed. Mindful listening is another powerful practice that can be easily incorporated into daily life. In many interactions, we are often preoccupied with our own thoughts or concerns, which can prevent us from truly listening to others. By practicing mindful listening, we can focus our full attention on the person speaking without interrupting, judging, or formulating a response in our minds. This practice not only improves our communication skills, but also fosters deeper, more meaningful connections with others. It also allows us to be more present in our relationships, helping to cultivate a sense of empathy and understanding. Finally, mindful movement is another way to integrate mindfulness into your life. Practices such as yoga, tai chi, or even simple stretching can help you connect with your body and cultivate awareness of how it feels in space. By focusing on your body's sensations, you can release tension, improve posture, and cultivate a sense of relaxation and mindfulness. Even during everyday activities such as walking or driving, you can practice mindful movement by being aware of your body's movements and sensations, bringing your attention back to the present moment with each step. The role of mindfulness in achieving long-term success. Mindfulness plays a pivotal role in achieving long-term success because it enables individuals to stay focused, resilient, and aligned with their goals. The path to success is rarely linear, and obstacles will inevitably arise along the way. it is easy to become discouraged or distracted when progress slows or setbacks occur. However, mindfulness helps us stay grounded in the present moment, allowing us to maintain a clear vision of our goals and adjust our approach when necessary. By practicing mindfulness, we can develop a mindset that is more flexible, adaptive, and focused on the long-term outcome rather than immediate gratification or short-term challenges. Furthermore, mindfulness fosters emotional intelligence, which is essential for building strong relationships and navigating the complexities of life. Emotional intelligence involves the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. By cultivating mindfulness, we become more aware of our emotional states and reactions, enabling us to respond with greater empathy, patience, and understanding. This heightened emotional awareness enhances our ability to collaborate, communicate effectively, and lead with compassion, all of which are crucial for achieving success in both personal and professional settings. Another important aspect of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress and enhance overall well-being. Chronic stress can have detrimental effects on both our mental and physical health, making it difficult to stay focused and perform at our best. Mindfulness, however, has been shown to reduce stress by promoting relaxation, enhancing emotional regulation, and improving overall mood. By incorporating mindfulness into our daily lives, we can mitigate the effects of stress and maintain a sense of balance, which is essential for sustaining long-term success. Chapter 12. The Path to Resilience: Cultivating Strength in the Face of Adversity. Resilience is one of the most important traits anyone can cultivate in their pursuit of personal and professional success. It is the capacity to adapt in the face of adversity, trauma, or significant stress. Rather than being defined by how hard you fall, resilience is about how you rise, recover, and learn from setbacks. Building resilience is not about avoiding difficulty or pain. Rather, it is about learning how to thrive despite these challenges. Life, by its very nature, is full of obstacles. Whether they come in the form of personal loss, professional failure, or unexpected life events. In each of these situations, your ability to remain steadfast and maintain a sense of purpose is what will ultimately determine your success in the long run. This chapter explores how to cultivate resilience, why it is essential for growth, and the practices that can help strengthen your ability to overcome adversity with grace and determination. One of the first steps in building resilience is understanding the nature of adversity. Life doesn't always unfold the way we expect or hope, and setbacks are inevitable. Whether you face a sudden job loss, a difficult personal situation, or health challenges, the first instinct may be to retreat or become overwhelmed by the situation. However, resilient individuals have the ability to view adversity from a broader perspective. They understand that hardship is part of the human experience, and that each challenge carries with it an opportunity for growth. This shift in perspective is essential because it allows you to navigate difficult moments with a sense of purpose, rather than simply reacting to them with fear or frustration. In many ways, resilience begins with a mindset shift, viewing obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn, adapt, and ultimately emerge stronger. Another critical aspect of resilience is emotional regulation. When faced with adversity, emotions such as fear, anger, or sadness can easily take control, leading to impulsive reactions that might not align with your long-term goals. Resilience is not about suppressing or denying these emotions, but learning how to acknowledge them and respond in a way that is constructive. This requires a high level of self-awareness, as well as the ability to separate your emotions from your actions. For example, if you face a challenging situation at work, such as a conflict with a colleague or a failed project, it's natural to feel upset. However, resilient individuals are able to pause and reflect on their emotions, rather than immediately reacting in a way that might escalate the situation. they take a step back, breathe, and consider their options before choosing the best course of action. In this way, emotional regulation becomes a cornerstone of resilience, allowing you to navigate challenges with a sense of calm and clarity. At the heart of resilience is the ability to maintain a sense of purpose. When life becomes difficult, it can be easy to lose sight of what truly matters and become consumed by the immediate problem at hand. Resilient individuals, however, are able to keep their eyes on the bigger picture, even when things feel overwhelming. They are anchored by their values, goals, and sense of purpose, which helps them stay grounded in difficult times. This sense of purpose acts as a compass, guiding them through adversity and reminding them of what they are ultimately working towards. Whether it's a personal goal, such as improving your health, or a professional goal, such as advancing in your career, resilience enables you to persevere in the face of challenges and stay committed to your long-term vision. The role of mindset in building resilience. One of the most powerful tools in building resilience is the mindset you adopt in the face of adversity. The way you think about challenges can significantly influence how you respond to them. A fixed mindset, for instance, views failure as an indication of personal inadequacy, leading to feelings of helplessness and discouragement. On the other hand, a growth mindset embraces failure as an opportunity for learning and improvement. Resilient individuals tend to adopt a growth mindset, which allows them to view setbacks as temporary and surmountable rather than as permanent failures. Adopting a growth mindset involves reframing the way you view challenges and failures. Rather than thinking of obstacles as insurmountable, you start to see them as stepping stones on the path to success. Each setback becomes an opportunity to learn something new, to refine your approach, and to emerge stronger. This shift in perspective enables you to take calculated risks, face difficulties with confidence, and persist in the pursuit of your goals, even when things don't go as planned. It also fosters a sense of self-compassion, as individuals with a growth mindset are less likely to be self-critical and more likely to view mistakes as part of the learning process. Resilience is not about avoiding failure. It's about how you recover from it. Those with a growth mindset understand that failure is a natural part of the journey and doesn't define their worth or potential. Instead of becoming defeated by a setback, they use it as an opportunity to reassess, recalibrate, and move forward with even more determination. Cultivating this mindset allows you to develop the resilience necessary to handle whatever life throws your way, whether it's a small obstacle or a major life crisis. The power of social support in building resilience. While personal strength and mindset play crucial roles in building resilience, it's important to recognize that social support is equally vital. Humans are inherently social creatures, and having a strong support network can make all the difference when it comes to navigating life's challenges. Resilient individuals often rely on their relationships with others to provide emotional support, encouragement, and perspective during difficult times. Whether it's a close friend, a family member, or a mentor, having someone to lean on can help you stay grounded and motivated, especially when things feel overwhelming. Research has shown that social support not only provides emotional comfort, but can also help mitigate the physical and psychological effects of stress. When you have someone to talk to or share your struggles with, it can help reduce the sense of isolation that often accompanies adversity. Talking through your challenges with someone you trust can provide clarity, new insights, and even practical solutions that you may not have considered on your own. In addition, knowing that there are people who care about you can foster a sense of belonging and connection, which is crucial for emotional well-being. Resilient individuals don't hesitate to seek help when they need it. They recognize that resilience is not about going through life alone, but about learning to ask for support and accept help when necessary. In fact, reaching out for support is often a sign of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to be vulnerable and open up to others, and doing so can deepen your connections and strengthen your ability to persevere. By cultivating a strong support system and nurturing relationships with others, you create a network of care that can help you navigate even the most challenging times with greater resilience. Practical strategies for building resilience. While mindset and social support are integral to resilience, there are also specific practices that you can implement in your daily life to strengthen your ability to handle adversity. One of the most effective strategies for building resilience is mindfulness. Mindfulness practice encourages you to stay present in the moment and cultivate awareness of your thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations. By practicing mindfulness regularly, you can develop greater emotional regulation, reduce stress, and enhance your capacity to handle difficult situations with equanimity. Another practical strategy for building resilience is setting realistic goals and breaking them down into manageable steps. When faced with a large, overwhelming task or challenge, it's easy to become paralyzed by fear or doubt. However, by setting small, achievable goals, you can maintain a sense of progress and build momentum. Each small victory will help reinforce your confidence and belief in your ability to overcome obstacles. This sense of accomplishment is vital for maintaining resilience, as it reminds you that progress is possible even in the face of adversity. Self-care is another essential practice for building resilience. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being is foundational to your ability to withstand stress and adversity. This includes getting enough sleep, eating nutritious foods, exercising regularly, and engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. When you prioritize self-care, you equip yourself with the energy and strength needed to face challenges head-on, rather than feeling depleted or overwhelmed. Resilience is not about pushing yourself beyond your limits. It's about learning to balance effort with rest and replenishment, ensuring that you can maintain your well-being through the ups and downs of life. Chapter 14. The Triumph of Perseverance. Reflecting on the Journey. As we reach the final chapter of this journey, it's time to reflect on the path we've taken, the lessons we've learned, and the core principle that has underpinned it all: perseverance. The stories we've explored, the strategies we've discussed, and the obstacles we've faced together all point to one undeniable truth. Success, whether in personal endeavors or professional pursuits, is not determined by the absence of challenges, but by the ability to persist through them. This final chapter is a celebration of that persistence and an exploration of how it leads not only to external success, but also to profound personal growth. It's a reflection on the significance of perseverance, not just in achieving goals, but in shaping the very character that defines a person's life and legacy. Perseverance is often romanticized in stories of great achievements, but the reality of it is far less glamorous. It is not about making dramatic leaps forward or accomplishing monumental feats in a single moment. Rather, it is about the quiet, steady determination to keep going day after day, despite the weight of doubt, fatigue, or frustration. To persist is to show up even when the world feels heavy, to continue in the face of disappointment, and to remain committed to a purpose that might seem distant or uncertain. What separates those who succeed from those who falter is this simple yet profound commitment: the willingness to take the next step when others have stopped moving. The final triumph, when it arrives, feels all the sweeter because it is built upon countless small, seemingly insignificant moments of perseverance. These are the moments that define success and shape the story of a life well lived. There is also something deeply personal about perseverance. It is about developing a relationship with oneself. Throughout this journey, you've learned to trust your ability to continue, even when the path is unclear, even when your energy wanes, and even when the outcome is uncertain. Each moment of persistence strengthens your self-belief, reinforcing the idea that you are capable of more than you once thought possible. This internal strength becomes a powerful foundation for navigating all aspects of life. When you persist through adversity, you learn not only about the external world, but also about your inner capacity to overcome. In many ways, perseverance teaches you more about who you are than any victory ever could. It is in the act of pushing through difficulty that you discover your own resilience, your capacity for growth, and your commitment to your vision. Over time, this sense of inner strength becomes an indomitable force, one that carries you through future challenges with a sense of quiet confidence. Yet, while perseverance is about maintaining momentum in the face of difficulty, it also requires the wisdom to know when to pivot. The ability to persist does not mean blindly following a path that no longer serves you. Rather, it means staying flexible, adaptable, and open to change. Sometimes, persistence is not about stubbornly continuing along a chosen route, but about recognizing when it's time to adjust your approach or shift your focus. Success is not always about following the same path to the end, but knowing when to redirect your efforts to achieve the same goal. This flexibility allows you to adapt to unforeseen circumstances, learn from past mistakes, and refine your approach. It is not the rigid pursuit of a single plan, but the willingness to embrace the journey and adapt when necessary that is at the heart of true perseverance. As you move forward, it's essential to maintain the clarity of your vision, but also the humility to change course when needed. Perseverance and the long-term vision. As you reflect on the power of perseverance, it's important to recognize that this quality is intrinsically linked to your long-term vision. When you begin a journey, it's easy to be motivated by the excitement of the initial steps, the planning, the dreaming, the goal setting. But it is the long-term vision that sustains you when the initial thrill wears off and the reality of the work sets in. Perseverance without a clear vision can become exhausting and unfulfilling, as it may lack purpose and direction. But when your persistence is aligned with a larger goal, something that resonates deeply with your values and aspirations, it gives you the strength to keep moving forward, even when obstacles appear. Long-term vision serves as the anchor for your perseverance, reminding you why you are pushing forward even on the toughest days. It is your North Star, the guiding light that keeps you focused and motivated. By keeping that vision in mind, you remind yourself that the struggles and setbacks you encounter along the way are part of a much larger picture. With a clear vision, the mundane tasks and the difficult moments become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. They are simply part of the process of building something meaningful. And so, perseverance becomes less about surviving challenges and more about growing through them, with the understanding that every challenge overcome brings you closer to the realization of that larger vision. The role of support systems in building perseverance. While perseverance is often seen as a solitary endeavor, it is often the support systems around us that make persistence possible. No person succeeds in isolation. Whether it's family, friends, colleagues, mentors, or communities, the encouragement and guidance of others provide the emotional and practical support needed to persist through challenging times. These support systems act as lifelines, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles, offering perspectives that we may not have considered, and providing the reassurance that our efforts are valid and worthwhile. In fact, research has shown that social connections are one of the most important factors in maintaining motivation over the long term. When you have people who believe in you, it becomes easier to persist because their belief reinforces your own self-belief. In moments of self-doubt, the words of encouragement from a friend or mentor can provide the necessary push to keep going. When you feel like giving up, the support of others helps you regain your strength and perspective. Moreover, support systems can provide practical advice, guidance, and expertise, which can be invaluable when faced with obstacles or difficult decisions. In this sense, perseverance is not just an internal battle, it's also a collective effort. The people who walk beside you, who cheer for you when you succeed, and lift you when you fall, help make your journey not only possible, but meaningful. As you arrive at the culmination of this journey, it's crucial to acknowledge the rewards of persistence. These rewards are not just material or outward achievements, though they are certainly part of the picture. The deeper rewards of perseverance lie in the personal growth and transformation that occur along the way. Persistence molds you into a person capable of handling greater challenges, equipped with wisdom and experience that you wouldn't have gained without the trials and tribulations you've faced. Through persistence, you learn to cultivate patience, to trust the process, to embrace failure as a lesson, and to stay the course even when the finish line seems distant. These qualities make you stronger, more resilient, and better prepared for whatever lies ahead. Moreover, the rewards of persistence are also reflected in the satisfaction that comes from knowing you've given your all, that you've continued to push forward when others may have quit. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing you did not let obstacles or setbacks define your journey, but instead, you defined your journey through your unyielding commitment to your goals. This sense of accomplishment and fulfillment is far more satisfying than any external recognition or prize. And when you look back on your journey, you will see that the true value of persistence lies not in the destination, but in the person you have become along the way.